Good morning, friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today I am going to show you how to properly prune a Macrophylla or a big leaf hydrangea and tell you why you want to do it now as opposed to other times in the year. Also, we're going to head over to the cottage garden because there are some perennials that need to be pruned, and so I'm going to show you those and again explain why I am pruning perennials in July here in North Carolina. So that is what is on the docket today. What we're going to be pruning is this gorgeous, massive zebra hydrangea that I have had in the ground here for 6 years. Y'all, I know that I get a lot of comments about, oh my gosh, your gardens are gorgeous. I wish my gardens look like that, and those types of comments. I want to show you a picture from May of 2019, and that is when I had planted this garden, really had kind of nailed down the design and really was embracing this garden. That is when we planted the zebra hydrangea. Y'all, that's 6 years. This, in the picture, you can see where I had the Wiggles and Squiggles hosta. It was a little tiny 1 gallon when I planted it. Look how big and beautiful it is now. So I tell you this because I want to offer you a bit of encouragement. That is 6 years of maintaining plants dying, adding in new plants, fertilizing, composting, mulching, pruning, all of that. So if you have an area that you're just now kind of revamping or you're putting in a new garden, give yourself grace and be patient with yourself and the garden. It takes time to develop these gardens. So that was just a little word of encouragement, and I really thought that was really fun because I found it, you know, Facebook will say, you know, on this day so many years ago, and it was that picture that popped up and I was like, oh my gosh. So word of encouragement to you. But also, that being said, 6 years, and I have never pruned the zebra hydrangea because I wanted it to get nice and big. She has. She's huge. She's beautiful. Zebra is a really fun Macrophylla hydrangea because it has black stems. So the new stems are black, and then you have those beautiful white flowers. It is a Macrophylla, a big leaf. This means that it blooms on old growth. So the flowers that you see and that have come and kind of gone, that are brown now, those buds were formed like this time last year. So it does not bloom on new growth like your panicles, your arborescens. It blooms on old growth. This is really important to know because it's very important to understand how your hydrangeas bloom so that you know how and when to properly prune them. The only reason that I am pruning zebra hydrangea is because I need to reduce her size. She is big, she is beautiful, but I need to kind of shape her up, and she's getting a little aggressive in the garden, so I need to bring her back. I do not prune Macrophyllas every year. The only time that I prune Macrophyllas is to reshape them or reduce their size, or if I'm getting ready to dig them up and transplant them. As a general rule, leave your Macrophyllas alone. They do not need to be pruned. Now, if you want to come in and cut your flowers, that's kind of a natural pruning and it will be perfectly fine. We're doing it now, the beginning of July, for a couple of reasons. One, for the most part, my blooms are done. Yes, they are brown. We're in North Carolina, y'all. It's hot, it's humid. We just went through a good heat wave in the end of June, and so that kind of crisped up these blooms. So we have that. Two, I want to cut it, prune it, so that it has plenty of time to flush back out to put on new buds for next year. By doing it now, I am still going to get flowers next year. Yes, I'm going to sacrifice a few right now, but I am thinking long term. You do not want to prune your Macrophyllas in the fall. If you prune them in the fall, you're not going to have flowers in the spring. So keep that in mind. So we're doing that, and that's why we're doing it. Also, it is a cloudy day, and our temperatures have returned to normal. It is extremely sticky. It is extremely humid, but we've had some cloud cover. We got rain last night. We're supposed to get rain again tonight, and so this will help the hydrangea transition well. If you're in the middle of a heat wave like we were in at the end of June, right? The vast majority of the country, especially like the East Coast and the South, had extreme heat. That is not the time to prune your hydrangea. Let's wait till your temperatures return to normal. All right, now that was a lot of information. I had to give you that information to give you the backstory, and so you have the tools. Now I'm gonna show you how easy it is to prune them. All right, so I've snuggled myself kind of in here with the zebra up amongst all of the hostas that are here. Really all you need. I am a glove wearer because it protects my hands. I have gotten so many cuts, scrapes, then I have infections, you name it. I am rough on my hands, so I always wear gloves. Also, you're going to need a good pair of pruners, little hand pruners. Of course, I like the Felcos. Felco 2 is my size that I use that. Y'all, if you have nothing less than a pair of scissors, use a pair of scissors. It'll be okay. And then I have a little pop-up tub right here that I'm gonna put all my debris in. Now, my goal here is to reduce the size and to shape it. So some of y'all just go ahead and just, if you need to close your eyes because this is going to stress you out because I'm going to be cutting off sweet little pretty blooms, then I'm sorry, but sometimes, you know, gardening is tough. It's like parenting. Sometimes you have to do things that maybe are not fun in the moment, but long term it is important and it produces great results. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring this down pretty good. Now, what you want to do is wherever it is that you're going to cut, you're going to find 2 leaves, okay? I've got 2 leaves here, and right above those 2 leaves, I'm going to cut and make a little snip. Now, obviously, I'm gonna cut way more than that, but that's the general rule. Wherever you have 2 leaves, go right above those 2 leaves and simply cut. That's all you have to do. Now, okay. We're just gonna get after it and we're just gonna go in, and this is one of those things where if you're hesitant, you can always cut more of the plant off, but you can't add any more back. So my point in saying that is if you wanna be conservative at first on how much you prune, that's fine, because you can then go back and cut more. But if I start in here and I go way down in here and cut it way, way back, and then I realize, oh my gosh, I cut too much off, I can't add the plant back, okay? So I'm probably gonna go around this plant several times to get it exactly how I want it. Patience, my friends, right? Take your time, no big deal. So we're just gonna kind of come in here and we're just gonna go for it, that's it. So it's as easy as that. Just go in there and start cutting on the hydrangea above those 2 little leaf nodes and you will be good. Also, if you find any dead sticks in there, right, any dead stems, go ahead and cut those out too. This is a great time to get all that kind of dead stuff out of there. It happens, it's fine, your plant is great. It's just sometimes you have a stem that dies, no big deal. So kind of give you, yeah, she got pruned. Look at that. She got taken back. I probably, on some of them, took 18 inches, 2 feet off of her. She is going to flush back out, but she just was getting too big for this spot. One pruning in 6 years. I think that's pretty darn good. Example A, she was completely overshadowing this blue pot, and that poor euchera had a slow death. I mean, she's gone. So I'll go ahead and at some point repot that, do something fun in there. And then I wasn't planning on it, but I'm gonna go ahead. I have 2 bleeding hearts, one on each side behind the hydrangea. Y'all, your bleeding hearts, and this is already starting to happen on this one because it gets a little bit more sun exposure, but can you see how the leaves are burning and they're turning yellow? That means that this plant is getting too much sun for this time of year, and it's starting to obviously have that burn and not be happy and thriving. Now, this is an absolutely normal process. Your bleeding hearts love the cold temperatures. They are the first thing that I see popping up in this garden, even sometimes in February. They are a cool weather loving perennial. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, and y'all may think I'm crazy, this is a little early, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway because I'm in the space, and so I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and prune my bleeding hearts. I can't tell you how many customers, and here at the garden center, we've had like new employees come in, and in the summertime, they think the bleeding heart is dying, is dead. So they either chunk it, like the employees will take the pot and just throw the soil and everything in the woods, and or customers, they think it's dead and they're like, oh my gosh, I killed that plant. Well, come springtime, they come back with a vengeance and are very happy. We have a nice robust crop of bleeding hearts in the woods at the Pines because employees have kind of chunked them thinking that they were dead. They're not. So if your bleeding hearts start to show yellow, burn, just looking horrible and sad, they're not dead, they're not dying, they're going dormant. Cut them to the ground. Absolutely flush to the ground. There's no thinking about it, just cut it to the ground. Another reason that I'm gonna go ahead and do this now is because I want that sun to get all the way, and the light all the way around this hydrangea. That way she will flush out. Because if you can see right here, the bleeding heart is kind of shadowing this area of the hydrangea. And I want some light to get in there so that I get some new growth. So that's what I'm gonna do real quick. Again, y'all just literally cut it to the ground. I'm gonna do that and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. So let's just take a nice little look-see of the before, right? You got some little green back there. Let me show you what it looks like after I prune it. And there is the after. You can see that all of that foliage is gone. All the sunlight can get around the zebra. I've got more sunlight there on my window box so it can grow and be happy and not be constrained by both the zebra and those bleeding hearts. Brendan's gonna check out my work, make sure I did a good job. I think we might have a bunny that kind of hides in here sometimes because her sniffer has been quite interested in this area. But let me show you. When I say cut it down to the ground, my friends, that's literally what I mean. There is no thinking. It is just called go in there, cut it back, and it will be well. Now, one of the things that kind of drives Jerry crazy about working in the garden with me in a project is because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. Well, I do X, and then I find X1, X2, X3 to do before I move on to the other projects. So, example A, I came here to prune zebra, and then I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and do the bleeding hearts. Well, now that I did the bleeding hearts, I'm gonna go ahead and trim back the diamond frost just a little bit because diamond frost in here is she's very happy and she's beautiful, right? But I need to get a little bit more light in here on my double delights, and so I'm just gonna come in here and see, you can't even see that there was a double delight right there, right? So we're just gonna come in and give a little shape, a little haircut, so that way we get some more light here on the begonias and they can shine and be happy just like these ones here on the end. See how pretty those are? So we're gonna do that right quick. So there you go. Shaped it up. I really, y'all, as you can see, I just grabbed and cut. Got everybody back down the same length. Another tip, if this like stresses you out and you're like, but it looks so ugly, do it right before you leave, right? Jerry and I, the month of July is the month where we do a lot of business traveling. So we're gonna be gone in the month of July for a total of like 2 weeks, right? And so if that drives you crazy to look at this, do it right before you go on vacation. So that way when you come back from vacation, it'll already be flushing out again. And so it won't look so pruned and so chopped and so naked, if you will. So that's just a little tip. But again, I have an extremely long growing season. This container can last me through November. As long as I keep it watered, keep it fed with some continuous release of fertilizer, then it will literally take me through the fall. And sometimes you have to prune your annuals. You prune your shrubs, you prune your annuals, and we're getting ready to go prune some perennials. So let's go do that. All right, my friends, like I said, shrub done, annuals done, and now we're moving on to perennials. We are here at the cottage garden, which is literally right across the driveway from the zebra hydrangea. And so we have got a couple, not a lot, but a couple of perennials in here that we are going to go ahead and prune back. Also, there's weeding. Y'all, weeds are a constant thing in the garden. Especially, we have been blessed with incredible amounts of rain, and so that just feeds the weeds. So we're gonna do a little bit of weeding in here. Also, we're gonna talk about, remind me at the end of the video, if I don't tell you, what I'm going to do tomorrow to help prevent these weeds and to help these plants just be even happier. But first things first, we're going to prune perennials. 2 that I know straight off the top of my head, actually 3 that I know straight off the top of my head. One, my Stokes asters. They were absolutely stunning. They were gorgeous. They were blooming, but they're telling me that they need to go ahead and be pruned. So we're going to do that. We're going to prune the new Nepeta that we just planted like a week or 2 ago. It's struggling a little bit, so I'm going to show you exactly how to prune that and why I'm pruning it, what those signs are that it's under stress. So we're going to prune that. And then I have got some foxgloves. Oh Lord, they are really under stress. So we're going to prune those as well. So first things first, we're going to do the Stokes asters because that's, in my brain, one of the easiest things to do. So I have got, in both beds, I have got the Riptide, and both of these are from Proven Winners. So Riptide is the blue, light purple, lavender, whatever you want to call it. So we have got a group of those in here, and then we have the white caps, something white. Y'all, sorry. And so it is the white. So there's 2 new asters. It's the blue and the white. So this is the white. And so you can see here. So these are all of the old blooms. So these were gorgeous blooms. They're done. Do you see how the plant is like laying down, right? So it's splayed open. Now, come look at the center of the plant, and what do we see? We see new growth, and we actually see new buds forming. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and prune everything off. The old stuff, we're going to prune back. So when we're done, we're going to have this little clump right here, and that is it. It's telling me it's going to rebloom. And when I cut all this old foliage off, it's going to grow even faster and be even happier because it doesn't have to support all of this foliage, and it can put all of its energy into the new plant, the new growth. So that is what we're going to do. Super, super simple on that. Then, right next door, we have the Catwalk Queen Nepeta. This is going to be a new one from Proven Winners. And so we have 5 in the ground. Now, we got a ton of rain yesterday, y'all. And so you can see that this is nice and damp. Nepetas, typically, they like to be on the dry side, which is great for this bed because it's raised, at a slope rather. And so, but it is wet because we got tons of rain. But do you see how it's like thin, scraggly on the edges? Like it's not very happy. But again, look down in the center. What do we see? We see a bunch of new growth. So again, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna cut all of this back. So that way, again, we are rejuvenating the plant. We're taking off any of that extra growth that is not thriving, that is either already bloomed, it's done, we're ready to move on. That way the plant can put energy back into the roots and pushing out new growth, not trying to support that old yucky growth. So that's what we're going to do on those. And then let's see. Last but not least, over here, so I've got some foxgloves, and these, I've got 2 of them. I call these Tina's foxgloves because I have 2 teenagers that are making fun of me. Look at them. They're feeling sassy. They just went and got coffee from Dunkin', and so they're feeling sassy and they're making fun of me. That's all right. Mama's paying the bills right now, aren't she? Isn't she? Yeah, I love you too. So I have 2 of the foxgloves from Tina, and they're struggling. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it was because it was the heat with the heat wave. I don't know because this bed doesn't have irrigation. I'm gonna work on that tomorrow. I don't know, y'all. But anyway, they're clearly struggling. So we're gonna come in here and do a little pruning. So I've got these 2 right. They're here, and clearly they are not happy now. The little poplar tree right here, oh yeah, he's nice and happy. So we're gonna yank him out. So what I'm gonna do is really just come in here and shear these back down to the ground. If they make it, yay, that's awesome. And if they don't, well, you know what, that's okay. Because I believe foxgloves are considered biennials. That means that they are not a true perennial. They live only 2 years. I think that's right. Plus, Tina's a sweet friend, and she's got a million gazillion foxgloves. So if they don't come back after I prune it, I am sure she'll be happy to share more with me. So I'm gonna set the camera up, get in nice and close and tight so that you can see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna prune the asters, the nepeta, and then the foxgloves. My friends, it is high noon. The sun has come out and today's project is complete just in the nick of time because it is so sticky that even my ponytail was too hot on my neck, so I had to flip it up. The dew point's like 73, something like that, and it's supposed to keep on going. Temperature wise, it's not that bad, but it just feels like you're walking around in soup. So I'm glad that today's project is done so I can go in and get a nice cold shower. But oh my gosh, y'all, just a little bit of work and a lot of sweat because of the time of year. It looks so good. Getting those Stokes asters, getting them cleaned up, getting them pruned back, it just opens up this area right here. Of course, then the lantana can go, all that good sun gets into my boxwoods and the heliopsis. So it just opens up that space and lets the other plants get the light. Foxgloves are cut back. Literally just cut them to the ground. Nothing fancy there, y'all. Just cut them to the ground. The Cat's Walk Queen, she has gotten pruned. These over here were looking really, really nice. So they had transitioned really nicely into their new home. So I just cleaned them up a little bit around the edges. So those look great. The ones on this side were a little bit more struggling. So you can see, really kind of cleaned them up, pruned them back by a good bit, but they will flush out and be just happy. Of course, these Stokes asters, got them tidied up. The one perennial I do not want to prune is my butterfly weed. So as you may recall, I'm trying to help support as many pollinators and especially the monarchs in this garden. Speaking of pollinators, the unplugged So Blue, can y'all see all of those bumblebees on there just living their best life? But the butterfly weed is still blooming. So we have these beautiful orange blooms, but then they're making these funky, they look like kind of like okra. If you're a southerner, they look kind of like okra. Those are the seed pods. And so what's going to happen is they're going to split open and these little white floofy seeds are going to come out. Now, I've had this particular butterfly weed in here for a couple of years, and I have never gotten any babies to come off of it. But that does not mean I'm going to give up trying. So for the butterfly weed, I'm going to keep it, let it go to seed, and let it spread, and try to see if I get some more babies somewhere else. So that's the one perennial I am leaving alone. And then over here, these Stokes asters, there was 3 of them together here, and they had flopped so much that they were impeding the growth. Like they had flopped over into the petunias, and so they were all in the petunias. This is why I have a hole here, and then the petunias were growing into them, and they just were kind of working themselves all together. So when I pulled the asters out, the petunias were very kind of scraggly, so I just cleaned them up. I just trimmed just a little bit, brought back any of those really leggy, scraggly stems, and that way it'll get nice and thick. Also, if you are a faithful viewer of Creekside, you know that when we redid this bed had been plagued by some sort of nuisance, hardwood, tree, shrub, I don't know what it was, but I swear it had roots to China, because no matter how much you dug, you could not get to like the true root. And so when we were redoing this, Jerry took out a ton of soil trying to get out all the roots. Well, which I knew was going to happen. Some of them got left behind, so they have sprouted. So that's why I used the Fertilome tree and shrub, brush killer, that's what it is, tree and stump killer, sorry. And so they were right here. So I had a little group right here, and then there was one on the back side of the fire chief. And so using that just works great. You cut them, you get your little paintbrush, you paint it, and then it kills it. So I will stay on top of that. Also, the Stokes asters were kind of coming in here to my Firelight tidbits. So let them breathe, let them get some sunlight in there, and all will be well and nice and happy. Now, remember when I was telling you that it drives Jerry crazy because I start with one? No, it's not that I do start, but while I'm there, I'm like, I'm in this space. I might as well go ahead and take care of this. Meet exhibit B, C, D for today, the Amsonia. So the Amsonia is a fantastic native perennial. Love this plant. Early spring bloomer, beautiful true blue flowers on it. It is phenomenal. She has been in this bed since the conception of the bed. So she has been here for a long time. She gets to stay. So after she bloomed in the spring, I pruned her back, and I showed you how I pruned her back. Super simple, like just whack her back, right? What happens is they flush back out, but they don't get so floppy, right? So they'll get nice reflush, just like she was. Nice, beautiful foliage. She's not going to bloom again, but she has that beautiful foliage. Well, she's so happy that she was really flushing out, and she was kind of taking over the spot. Now, granted, what she was taking over were annuals, so that was probably my fault planting the annuals so close. But it doesn't hurt to go in there and shear her back again. So we just take the hedge trimmers and just, y'all, make a little meatball. It is fine. In a couple of weeks, she's gonna flush back out and she'll have new growth. She'll still be nice and tight, but hopefully, like this, literally you can see how everything's curved right here. So the salvia, the monarda, lantana, coleus, the petunias right here will be able to flush back out. See how much, like how whoop they are? That was because of the Amsonia. And then even this little yellow butterfly weed, one little stem was going in, and so that had died. But yeah, so go in there, don't be afraid. Amsonias, I didn't know this for years, but your Amsonia and your Baptisia, you can prune back. They're not gonna rebloom, but they will get a really tighter, more compact habit and not be so floppy. So if that's a problem for you, go ahead and prune them, and it's okay. You can go ahead and do it now. It'll be fine. Now, in the beginning, I said, remind me, don't let me forget, and you didn't, so thank you very much. What we're gonna do on this bed, because the weeds that I had, and I had a fairly decent number of weeds in here, and that is because there was really no new mulch that we had put in when we plant, like from way back in the fall. We did it in the fall when we finally kind of, quote, finished the bed. But when I added more perennials and more annuals, there was no mulch added. And so you had a lot of like red clay coming up because when I was digging. The reason I didn't add mulch is because we need to add drip irrigation to this space. Everything is set up. In fact, behind the Baptisia on this side, you will probably be able to see once I come around here, see that the little white thing? That's the little PVC that's holding the irrigation closed. So tomorrow, the fellas and I are gonna come in here and we are going to lay the drip irrigation in both of these beds. So 1, 2, and then the cottage garden extension. The plants on the strip, they have it, but the cottage garden extension and then up a little bit, that does not have irrigation, but I needed to have irrigation. So we're gonna lay that down first, then we're gonna come back with our black gold, so add some great compost to it, and then we'll top dress with some Daddy Peat, which I use as my mulch. That is going to take this bed to the next level, and the plants are going to love it because they're going to get water, food, and then be protected from weeds. So that's tomorrow's project. That'll be part 2 of this, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, feels great to have this done. The garden can breathe again. I can breathe again. Every little bit of maintenance that we can do, we are doing, and so that makes all the difference in the world. There's grace in gardening. Get to it when you can, but if you can do that little bit of maintenance, get those weeds when they're small and they're not so obnoxious and huge and a problem, then that is the better choice. So as always, my friends, if you have found this fun, informative, or inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. That way you don't miss these 5 videos that we do each and every week just for you. Y'all have an amazing day. Stay cool out there. It's warm, it's toasty. It's actually raining right now. The sun's kind of out and it's sprinkling. So 'tis weather in North Carolina. It's always fun. This is why we're so stinking humid, because it rains and the sun comes out. Rain, sun comes out. Anyway, I digress. See y'all next time. Bye.